Meta made a major announcement in low vision care. The company is donating its Ray-Ban Meta AI glasses to every legally blind veteran in America. That's more than 130,000 people completely free through a partnership with Blinded Veterans Association. The glasses let users read documents, identify objects, and navigate their surroundings using only their voice. It's being called a major step toward independence for blind and low vision veterans, and it raises bigger questions about where AI wearables fit into everyday low vision care. To talk through the clinical side of this, I'm joined by Dr. Canto-Sims, owner of Buena Vista Optical, whose work focuses on bridging technology access and care for underdeserved patient populations. Dr. Canto-Sims, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
In your own work at Buena Vista Optical, what gaps do you see for patients with low vision that a donation like this could actually help close, whether that's access, cost, or something else you run into with patients?
So I think the biggest is access. A lot of patients don't even know that this technology exists to help them. But one of the things that I think is going to be a game changer is right now when I have a low vision patient, we refer them to a low vision rehabilitation clinic. And this usually requires them to have a caregiver or family member to take them to multiple appointments to have them fitted and trained for different devices, either that be a magnifier or a telescope. And what this technology does is it really closes that gap and gives that instant gratification because it is by voice command. So by speaking to the glasses, they're able to have the independence that they really want right away. So I think that is the biggest gap that this technology is closing is that instant gratification of being able to speak and feel that independence because they can read a letter.
And that leads me to my next question about their independence. From a clinical standpoint, what does a tool like this actually change for their day-to-day independence? And how does it compare to the assistive technology you've typically been able to offer them?
So the resources that we have are very helpful. Currently, these resources help the patient with low vision, basically helping them with the vision that they have left, right? So whatever vision they have left, they learn to use a magnifier, a telescope to be able to see. The difference here is because it is voice command, they are able to read a letter. They're able to find an entrance or an exit to a door without having to struggle using the vision that they may not have. So the question really comes to what can they do with the vision that they have left versus what can they do to feel more independent with voice command.
AI wearables are obviously not a substitute for vision. What should patients and clinicians understand about what these glasses can and can't do so expectations stay realistic?
That's really important because these glasses are not a cure for blindness. They also do not restore vision, and they, for now, are not a substitute for orientation and mobility training. And these are things that the patient needs to be able to move around, walk, and feel independent. The other thing is that a, this technology is dependent on a smartphone. A lot of my low vision patients, they don't feel comfortable using a smartphone. A lot of them are using a flip phone because they memorize the numbers and they're able to call their family and friends. So being able to clarify that you will need a smartphone to be able to download the software, to be able to use this technology is important. Now, technology can sometimes be fickle, right? Sometimes it disconnects from the software. So, how will my patient feel if they decided to go to the grocery store and all of a sudden maybe their phone is no longer charged, right? They lost power on their phone or they lost the connection to be able to get back home. So it's important that we establish this ahead of time so that they know that this technology will give them independence, but there's also a lot to teach them about learning to use their smartphone, being proactive about carrying their charger, and it really isn't a replacement for the therapy that we currently have for mobility and orientation. mobility. So that's important to note.
No, that's a great point because we don't often think about people not having smartphones, right? And there is
Right.
a large number in the population that don't use smartphones, and that is a huge accessibility gap right there.
Mhm.
Where do you see AI wearables heading in clinical practice over the next few years? Do you think this becomes a standard part of low vision rehab, or does it stay more of a supplemental tool?
Well, I hope that the technology advances to the point that we can use it as a supplemental tool. So, right now, the tools and resources that we have are working really well. I think the younger generation is also more open to use a smartphone. I do believe that our current patients are willing to be able to learn to use a smartphone. And I would love for all low vision rehabilitation clinics to incorporate in some way this device, because the reality is technology is advancing. And my hope is that this type of AI glasses is able to help low vision patients be able to give training like mobility and orientation, because that's what is going to give the patient that independence, that feeling of independence, and that's what they really are aiming for.
Dr. Canto-Sims, thank you for taking time out of your day to talk about this.
My pleasure.
And for everyone watching, please stay up to date on the latest news about AI and the rest of the ophthalmology space at ophthalmologytimes.com.